Melanie.
And I'm Michael.
And welcome to Uplift Stitches. We are a married couple, and this channel is a place where we mostly talk about cross stitch.
And sometimes a little gaming.
That's right.
It has been a while since we've last recorded.
Yeah.
It's been over a month. It is now Monday, August 12th. We're almost halfway through August, but this is when we were able to manage to do it. So,
Because life.
Because life. But we've had a pretty good month overall, I think.
Yeah, we had a good month. We hope that you did too. It's so nice to see you and spend some time with you. We thank you for choosing to spend some of your time with us today.
Yeah, especially if you're returning viewers. If you're new viewers, welcome. And we're glad to have you and hope you enjoy what you see.
Yeah, this is episode number 12.
Number 12?
Yeah, next time will be our 1 year floss anniversary.
Wow, it doesn't seem like it's been that long.
I know.
I guess it has. So that's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
It's been just really a wonderful experience. So I'm grateful for everybody who's a part of this community with us.
Yeah.
So we do are going to start with a short update.
Yeah, usually we talk about our life first.
Our life.
We do have timestamps, so if you're not interested in that, you just want to get to the stitching, you can go ahead and pause, and you should see those numbers below, and you can skip ahead.
Skip ahead to what you're interested in.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess without further ado, we'll give up our brief updates.
Yeah, so July was mostly slower than June.
Mostly slower than June. The middle part was pretty calm and peaceful. And,
yeah, so I think last time we saw you, we had mentioned that I had some family in town, and they were still in town.
Still in town.
So we spent a little bit of extra time with them before they went home.
Yeah, and then we had, I think, a game day in the middle of the month with our friends.
Yeah, we spent some time with friends. We spent some time with family.
Went to a barbecue with our friends.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. So it was a pretty good middle of the month.
You had busy times at work.
Work has been very busy, especially up until this very day, really.
Well, you're getting ready for the new semester.
Getting ready for the new semester. Yeah. I'm a instructional designer, so it keeps me very busy helping faculty get all their courses ready for the fall. So, and then we had a busy end of the month as well.
Yeah, so things were pretty calm, and we really enjoyed it until the very last week of July. And then a person that we care about very deeply had some
health issues.
So it's just been kind of a whirlwind of caretaking and coordinating everything for them. So
yes, and on top of that, we had our Gen Con trip right after that. So it's been pretty busy.
Yeah.
But we did have a great time with Gen Con. I think we had an
awesome time.
It's been a great time. We'll talk a little bit more about that in more depth on another video.
So we're planning on doing a Flosstube extra, which should come out sometime between now and our September video. So keep an eye out for that. We're not sure when we'll have the time to film that, but when we do, you'll get to hear more about our Gen Con trip. But we did have a wonderful time. We played so many games.
We did. And we'll probably have maybe a little preview at the very end of this video if they're curious. But
really?
Yes, we will. I think.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just a wonderful one. It's always been a wonderful time every time we've been. We've gone 3 times now, and I can't recommend it enough. So.
And now we're back.
And
back to our new kind of normal. Figuring out what our new normal is.
Figuring out our new normal. We did manage to do quite a bit of stitching over the last month. So.
And then.
In between.
Before the
end of July. We had a little bit of disruption in our stitching routine.
Yeah.
Obviously.
So we're kind of figuring out new routines and just kind of figuring out how we're going to do things moving forward.
Things are moving in a positive direction, though. So that is really good.
Yeah.
But, so I think that's up for updates, right?
Yeah.
I don't think anything else that I missed. So
no, we hope that you've had the best month that you could, and
yeah. So we'll go ahead and dive into our cross stitch stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us had any completely finished objects.
No, there was no time for that.
But you do have some finishes.
I did have 4 finishes.
I don't have any finishes, so I'll let you take over.
Yeah, so I did have 4 finishes this last month. The first one was a start and finish. Actually, the first 2 that I'm going to show you were starts and finishes. The first one, because I did Jolly July. So everything that I stitched in July was Christmassy related. I had plans to start a bunch of Santas. I had plans to do a bunch of other things, and I did some of that.
Yes, you did. I did a tiny bit of Jolly July, but my stitching ended up going different directions.
Yeah, so the very first Santa that I started in July was A Basketful of Wintertime by Brenda Gervais. This pattern was passed on to me by my mom, and I think I mentioned I wasn't sure if I was going to start this or not. And not only did I start it, I finished it.
She finished it.
And here it is. So as I said, this is Basketful of Wintertime by Brenda Gervais. I stitched this on a 28 count Friendship Greene by Fabrics by Stephanie. And I did 2 strands over 2, and I think only some of these colors were called for. I looked at the list, and I think I only had 2 or 3 of the called for colors, so the rest of them I just kind of pulled from the closet. As you can see, I kind of have it sewn into a pillow, but it's not stuffed
it's
or
not
anything
stuffed
yet. So it's ready for finishing. But yeah, I'm so excited with how this turned out. I just love it on the screen, the way all the reds pop on there. And I think it's going to be a cute little addition to our little Santa spot.
I think so.
At Christmas time.
I think so.
Yeah. So that was fun. The second Santa that I started and finished is I Believe in Christmas by Annie Beez Folk Art. I think I had mentioned that I was planning on doing a Santa this July and then doing the snowman when I do my 12 Days of Snow Friends in December. And this was also a start and finish. Here's how he turned out.
Super cute.
Yeah. So this is stitched on 28 count Slate by Fabrics by Stephanie. And I used most of the called for colors. The only one that I changed was the color of his boots. I think I ended up changing it to the color that's called for in the snowman's hat. It was supposed to be more of an orangey brown, and I just
didn't quite feel it.
Yeah, I like this. I also left off the words, I believe in Santa. I do believe in Santa, but I felt like it didn't really need the words. And again, maybe you can tell I already sewed the fabric on to make this a pillow, but it just needs to be stuffed and find some sort of trim, and it'll be finished. So I'm pleased with it, and I'm loving this blue Santa.
Yeah.
I know someone else we watched was talking about how much they enjoy doing
non-traditional Santas. Yeah, who was that? I don't remember.
I don't remember, but I like it. Woo! Okay, that was finish number 2. Finish number 3 was Whittaker.
Oh yeah.
From Stacy Nash Designs. This was one of my 12 Days of Snow Friends starts this last December. And I needed some comfort, easy comfort fill-in stitching at the end of the month. Also, this came with me to Gen Con, so I did do a bunch of the pants.
Yeah.
At Gen Con. All I had left was his pants.
They're all filled in.
They're all filled in. He's ready for winter time.
Yeah.
So I did a portion of this on the drive home in the car while Michael was driving.
Well, that's right. You did, didn't you?
Yeah, and then I did the rest this last week when I needed some
stress relief.
Stress relief, easy comfort, fill-in stitching. But, oh, it's so cute.
He is super cute.
He's so cute. I used all the called for colors except for his mittens. I changed to a blue from a red. This is 28 count dark olive by Zweigart, and I am stitching with 1 strand over 2 linen threads. Ready for winter. I'm going to wait until I finish Paisley, the companion to this, before I fully finish it. But it's finished and excited.
He's super cute.
Okay, and then the 4th thing that I think I finished, I need to make a decision, but is Azaad the Lost by Marroomy Designs. I had started this
on the plane, right?
Oh yeah, on the plane when we went to Alaska in June.
I've really enjoyed watching you stitch this one.
Yeah, this was another one that came with me to Gen Con because I figured it was on Ada, and that's kind of a little bit easier to see. Our hotel room didn't have the best lighting.
It doesn't have great lighting.
So I knew that it would be easier for me to stitch on, so I brought that along. And I gotta finish. Well, sort of finish. So here it is. So my debate is if I'm going to do the border or not. Because I might just put it in a really bold frame and leave off the border.
The border, yeah.
Or I might do the border. I'm still deciding, but I think I'm okay with this sitting as a finish for now and deciding that a little bit later.
Give you hurt some time to think about it.
Yes. So I stitched this on 20 count? 22 count?
That is.
I know
that's 20 count, I believe.
I even have notes here. 20 count. Smack the Jellyfish by Live&DyeLA. And I used all of the called for threads, including, I don't know if you can see the sparkle, but there's some sparkle in here. But ooh, Oh, I love it. And it looks so good on this fabric. Yeah, I'm just so excited with how it turned out. This is great travel stitching, and I'm going to enjoy having this here in my craft room.
It's been fun watching you stitch that one. I really like that.
Yeah.
I think you picked the perfect fabric for that one.
Yeah, I love it. I love how it looks. And those were my 4 finishes.
Yeah, that is all of our finishes. I have none.
Yeah.
I made progress, but I didn't get any finishes.
You did. You made a lot of progress.
But
when you're working on larger, like all of these are small things, except for Whittaker. That was a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I think most of my projects are large. I mean, the lighthouse isn't super huge, but most of them are pretty big.
Yeah.
So I guess we turn to WIPs now.
Yeah, so now our work's in progress.
Yep, our work's in progress. That's what WIP stands for if you're new here. I have 4, and you have...
I have 5.
5. Okay, so...
And we both have a secret.
We do each have a secret stitch we can't show right here.
Yeah. So you made some really good progress on yours.
I did. I made some really good progress on the secret one, which I'm hoping to put some extra time in this month to try to get most of the stitching finished. So...
And I just started my secret stitch yesterday.
Oh, secret stitch.
Yeah.
Have I seen the secret stitch?
No, because it's for you.
Oh. Okay. Well, I like surprises. Okay. All right. Well, since you have 5 and I have 4, why don't you start and we can all go
right. I can do that.
That sounds...
So the first one I'm going to share is the other Santa that I started in July, which was the 1994 Santa, this one over here with the sunflowers, from Prairie Schooler, Santa's Revisited. I've been excited. I think you gifted this to me at Christmas.
Yes, I did.
And I've been plotting and planning.
Stitching
on these since then.
I know you've been excited to get started on your Santas. So.
Yeah. So, okay.
Yeah, the pearl cotton one. That's right.
Here it is.
It's ginormous and it looks great.
It's awesome. This is my first time using pearl cotton to stitch. This is a 7-count Sand Klostern by Weichelt or Whittaker. I don't know how I'm supposed to pronounce that. If you know, tell me.
Yes, I'll be curious myself to know.
But I could not put this down until I ran out of red. I underestimated how much I was going to need, so I have some more skeins of the red on the way. But until then, it's finished for now.
It's kind of hard to judge with something like that.
It is, because I've never stitched with the pearl cotton before, so I wasn't sure
how much coverage you would get out of a skein.
You know, like I've stitched for a while, so I kind of know how much regular thread I might need for a project by looking at the picture of it. If I might need 2 or more skeins of something, or if I could get away with 1. But this one I couldn't really tell because I've never stitched with this before, but I really enjoy the process of it. I did have to kind of work on my tension a little bit so that it didn't get puckery. But once I kind of figured that out, it was smooth sailing, and I just could not put it down.
You're making me want to try to find a
I still have some more of this fabric.
So I might have to find a project to stitch on it.
Yeah. I am planning on doing another one of these.
Is it another Santa or different?
You had gifted me the one.
Yeah.
That also has the snowman.
Oh yeah, I did, didn't I?
It's going to be one of my 12 Days of Snow Friends starts. Okay.
I can't wait to see that.
So I also ordered more white so that I'll have enough.
Yes, you're going to need lots of white for that.
Yeah. So I'm so pleased with how this turned out. I really love it. He's my new BFF forever. Santa with the backpack full of sunflowers and all the bird friends.
Yeah. So that was your first WIP.
That was my first one.
My first WIP. Let's see. This one is. I'll go ahead and pull it up before I talk all about it, which I always seem to do. This is my Stardew Valley Sal. I put quite a bit of time into this one. I don't remember where I was last time.
I think. Did you take a picture?
I did take a picture, which we can insert right here.
You've seen it already.
You've seen it already, but but I didn't. I know I got at least 1 or possibly 2 motifs. I know you
definitely did the fishing.
I know I have the fishing one down here.
I
think I also possibly did this
Crocus?
one. I might have started Crocus, but he wasn't done.
I don't think you had finished. I think you were working on the TV one.
Was it the TV one? That's way over here. Maybe I did. Maybe these are new.
Because it's been a while.
It has been a while, so maybe I did do these. These three are then probably the new ones. The picture will show you which the ones are actually the new ones.
You also did a bunch of fill-in.
I did quite a bit of fill-in, so I brought the fill-in down over around here. So it made really good progress. I do have one more motif that got released for like right here, and then she released the letters for up here. So I've followed pretty much most of the call fors except for like the lake and that are actually a different color. And of course, well, this is my own pattern, so those are my own call fors. But I think it's turning out really great. I'm excited to see how it finishes up, and I'll probably will frame this and hang in my office. I'm thinking either that or in the game room. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
I think my office probably. So this one's turning out really nice. Every time I stitch it makes me want to play the game, and of course I'm still waiting for the console to get updated with the new patch. So it's been a little bit of a wait.
Yeah.
Get excited, wait. Hoping it gets released soon. So this one's been a lot of fun to
Well,
stitch.
I know you mentioned the threads, but what's the fabric?
Oh, the fabric, yes. Let's see, I have that on here. Of course, I shouldn't have said it. Well, the designer is Jay Marie by Jay Marie Does Crafts. But there is a Facebook group for it if you're interested in it. It is almost finished, so I'm sure you can get the pattern though. It is on 18 count Rustica Oatmeal Aida by Zweigart. I'm just doing it 1/1, so it's pretty straightforward. It's an easy stitch. It's one of my more enjoyable, especially the fill. When I get really tired, I just kind of work on the fill because
it's kind of been your comfort.
It's my comfort, kind of mindless stitching.
Lately.
That's when I get tired. That's something I don't make mistakes on it easily, which I don't like. I try to avoid frogging, which I've had to do on one of the projects I'll talk about. So, so that was my first whip.
Yeah. So my second is one I had showed last time because I started or was getting ready to start it. It's from this book, Christmas Cross-Stitch Treasures by Joan Elliott. This book was gifted to me. And it's the Redwork Christmas Sampler. I'm doing this one. But if you've been here before, you know red is not my favorite color.
I'm well aware of that.
And so I decided to change the colors, but this is the pattern that I'm doing. And here's how it's looking.
I like it.
Yeah. I had to put it down because of reasons. But I am stitching this with B5200, one strand on 36 count creme de menthe by Needleblink Designs. And I'm pleased with how my stitches look, but I'm having a hard time with the back stitching. Like there's a lot of back stitching in this. And I started doing this part and I kind of was, I don't know, maybe it was late. And then I looked at it when it was not late and I thought, So I kind of put this away for now because I need to give myself a pep talk before I attempt more of the backstitching.
I do have quite a bit of backstitching in my project that I forgot to mention.
Oh, the Stardew one?
Yeah, there's actually quite a bit of backstitching in the framework where all the fill-in goes. There's a lot of backstitching.
Oh, is there?
So which I was waiting until I got the fill completely done to start working on those.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I've forgotten about that.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Well, so this is how it looks, and someday it will come back out.
You'll get back to it soon.
Yeah, but I do love how it's looking on this fabric, and I like my change to do the white threads on the green fabric.
Yeah, the white and green is a good combination.
Yeah.
So.
And that's that.
Let's see, my next whip. This is one I've talked a fair bit about, and it's probably one of my favorite ones I'm working on. So, this is the Forest Fairy Tale Sal, which I'll try to hold up here. It's a pretty large fabric, which I probably need to trim still. But so if I can, this is what the whole thing looks like, and I'll pull a little bit closer so you guys can see. But they just released a new, a new one. But I have, let's see what. 5 of the actual drops that they've done for the pattern done.
I think, had you finished?
I'd finished the top 3. I think I'd finished that one. It was the last one I'd done. So the 2 I finished since then is this one with the dragon, which kind of looks like a big lizard, but he is a dragon. And then the middle one, which is Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. And I am not stitching with this with the called for. It's actually completely changed the entire ones, which I'll show the threads in a second. They're actually colored in cottons, which was my first venture into that. But I'm really enjoying this. There's another one that got released, which is like the Norway, Sweden. It's the like folklore fairy tales about the god, forest goddess, I believe, or forest deity. But this one has just been a lot of fun. I really like how the colors are turning out in this one. So, um, but these are the colors that I chose for this. So the main color is actually called a waltz, which I'll try to show here. I think that's the variegated one that I really like how that's looking. And then I have a couple of the other colors. This one is Dutch Tulip. It's a special edition of Color and Cotton, which is kind of like the red color, which I think it does looking more orange on the actual.
Yeah, our lighting's a little bit different because we're filming in the evening. Usually we film in the morning.
And then this is the bright orange that you're seeing, which is called Fright Night. It's also a special edition. So I don't know how. Actually, these are all special editions. I don't know how readily available they have for too much longer. But
we purchased them at the store.
yeah, I purchased
brick and mortar store.
At the brick and mortar store. So I really like how the color combination is turning out on this project. It's looking really good.
Yeah. And what's the fabric on this one?
And the fabric, I am doing it 1/1 as it's called for, but this one is called 20 Count California Sage Aida by Live&DyeLA. This is a pattern by Quaternion, which I first heard about at least that company from Andrew the Runner Stitchers, where because he was doing one that really I found interesting. I think it was the Odyssey one. And then I heard about the Forest Fairy Tale one, and of course I love fairy tales, so I had to stitch it.
Yeah.
So this one has been one of my favorite ones to work on. It does take. It's not one I can stitch on late.
Yeah.
Because it's just too hard for me. But that was my second whip.
My third one is Silver Bells by Jan Hicks Creates. I had started this back in January in honor of my grandmother who loved Christmas and bells at Christmas time. But I decided that this was going to be my Motif a Week project for July. And I did, I think, 4 weeks. I made 4 weeks. Then that last week,
things happen.
Life occurred.
Yes.
So here is what it looks like now. Yeah. So I think last time I showed this to you, I had finished this back in January, and then I had just finished this as my first motif for July. So then I came down and I did this bell, this tree, and this little village scene. And I kind of threw the sparkles in as I needed to help me count along the way. But I'm so pleased with how this is turning out. It's such like a bright, vibrant colors. I'm stitching this on a 36 count limited edition by Color and Cotton. It's kind of like a grayish beige color. And I'm using all the called for threads, and I'm stitching this 1/2. Yeah, but I am so excited with how this is turning out. My mom and I are doing this as a stitch along, so I've seen hers, and hers is coming along nicely too. Yeah, but this will go away for a little bit and come back out when I'm ready to stitch on it. And I think I'll have this finished by her birthday in January again.
That's right. Yeah.
That's my plan.
That's a good plan. Let's see, my next one. This was one. I know I've shown this one before. This one is called Lighthouse by White Raven Patterns. And this was my start for our cruise. I started this on our Alaskan cruise, and I've kind of continued working on it. This is actually a page finish, so there's 4 more pages of roughly the same size. I really like how the pattern's looking. I had never stitched Lighthouse before, and trying to think of patterns to stitch for Alaska, and I kind of took a little inspiration from Stitching by the Shore. She does a lot of lighthouse patterns that, and I was like, well, that kind of makes sense. I remember seeing lighthouses up in Alaska, and then I had a chance to go see one. So I was like, this fits perfect, and it's just a beautiful pattern. It's not really very complicated, not huge, and it's also pretty easy. I'm just stitching this on 20 count white Zweigart. I'm doing it 1/1 with the called fors. It's an easy, comfortable stitch, especially when it gets late too. That's when I can stitch on when it gets late because my eyes get tired. So that is my third one.
My fourth one is another one that I had shown last time and talked about a little bit, and that's Quaker Christmas 2 by Bygone Stitches. I had started this last year as my Christmas in July start, and I had worked on it and then hadn't worked on it since then. So I kind of had a goal of working on this some more this July and seeing how far I could get. Of course, I didn't get as far as I had hoped initially, but I did make a lot of really good progress on this. And this is what it's looking like now.
It's a big one, so.
Yeah. So I think when I had shown it to you last time, I had just finished this motif. I had finished everything above here last year in July, and then I've done everything below that line in this July. So I had just finished this, and then I kind of worked on this page a little bit, and then I came over here, worked on this page, and then I worked on this the last week in July. It was a little bit of an easy pattern that I could just kind of not think too much about.
I really like how it's looking on the fabric he chose.
Yeah, I'm loving how this is looking. So I am stitching this on a 32 count limited edition by Coloring Cotton. And I'm stitching with a hank of misdyed thread, also from Coloring Cotton. It's like a medium to dark green color. And I'm stitching this with one thread. And I really like the way that it's looking. There are some large gaps in here. A lot of these are going to be filled in with red. So the pattern calls for you to do most of this in red with a little bit of green, and I'm doing it the opposite way with a lot of green and a little bit of red. So I still need to choose my red color, but I'm so excited with how this is turning out. And I really enjoyed working on this last month. And I feel like I did make a lot of progress considering how little stitch time I had. But yeah, I'm loving it.
All right, my last one is actually my Jolly July stitch, which I made a little progress. Not as much as I thought I was going to make, but this was the one where I had to do some frogging.
Oh, ooh. Oh no.
So this is the actual pattern. Let's see if it's not there. This is called the Kringle Flying Academy, which I know I've seen on somebody else's stitched at one point. I don't know if they're. I don't think they pulled it out.
Helen D maybe.
Maybe Helen D, yeah. Which was looked like a fun one. I identified as one I wanted to get. I think we got that from a store, one of the stores.
No, we got it at Galleria last year.
That was right, Galleria, Needleworks Galleria. So I'm stitching this one on 18 count Cardiff Opalescent by Live&DyeLA, and I'm doing it 1/1 with the call fours, and I think it's looking really good. I loved how the opalescent looks for this. It kind of gives me the snow effect. And it looks like you can see it in the video, but maybe can't. I don't really know.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. So I had the word completely finished. I had like most of his hat, but I just barely started his face last time. So I got his beard stitched in, and I got some of the red stitched in, and then I was starting the brown, and I didn't I was doing it really late, and the lighting was poor, and I was tired. And I got partway down, and I looked at it, and I was like, I can't live with these stitches. So I had to frog all of the brown and start the brown all over. And so I think I was also a little bent out by having to start over. So I don't think I stitched as much as I probably would have.
Yeah.
But I did make some progress, and I'll probably put this away until maybe November-ish, when it'll come out for Christmas stitching time for me. That's usually when I get closer to thinking about Christmas stitching. Because I'm looking forward to fall stitching and Halloween stitching. So I really like the way it's looking on this. I think it's looking really good, but I didn't make as much progress for my Jolly July as I thought I would. And I actually didn't stitch my Fantasy Windsor Castle at all, which I thought I was going to get to. So, partly because of things happening. So that was my last whip. And you have one more, I believe.
Yeah, so my last one is July ended. And I was ready for bright summery things again. So I turned to Garden Magic by Flossie Foxshop. This is my Year of the Dragon Sal piece that I started back in February.
I do love this pattern.
I needed some bright colors.
It's super cute.
And summery vibes. So here's where I am. So last time I showed this to you, I had stitched kind of down here, and I had done this dragon in the tree. So I did everything else that's down here these last couple days. All the little sparkles and tiny flowers and the two bigger flowers. There's a little bird bath with a bird and a kitty and a shovel and a pail and some tomatoes and pumpkins and a butterfly.
Pumpkins makes me think of fall.
I've had so much fun stitching this. There's a lot of color changes, but I don't mind it because I'm loving the bright, vibrant summeriness of it all. I'm stitching this on 36 count periwinkle by Color and Cotton, and I'm using the called for DNC threads 1/2.
And is that the edge of the pattern where you got to? Or?
Yeah, so this is the very bottom of the pattern, and the farthest that it'll go this direction.
So you're over halfway.
Yeah. Part of the reason I had set it down was that last time I was working on it, I was trying to do a bunch of the dragon, and I kind of got to a spot where it's going to be tricky to count, so I kind of got frustrated. So that's why I decided to kind of work down here at the bottom, because I knew this was going to be
a little bit easier to count.
A little bit easier to count. There is like a tree here that I think if I do the tree,
it might be easier.
Then it'll be easier for me to count to the trees and get to his larger wing that's over here. So I might try for a finish on this month. We'll see how life goes and how much stitching time I have, but I've really been enjoying these last 3 days.
I always enjoy seeing you stitch on that one.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite projects you're stitching.
So. I like it too. And that's my last work in progress.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's all. Do we go to purchase this next? Or do we want to do?
Can we do stitching kindness first?
We can do.
Because that's how I organize things.
We can do whatever you like. This is our Flosstube.
We can talk about purchases.
Let's
do purchases.
Okay, we'll do purchases.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I just
the thing is, my purchase is intangible at this time.
Oh.
As I mentioned, I ordered the pearl cottons that I need to finish that Santa. And then the only other thing that I purchased, I'll have to insert a picture, is I'm going to the Color and Cotton Stitch Day.
Oh, yeah.
In October.
That's exciting.
So I think it's October 12th, Saturday, October 12th. I'll be there. If you see me, please say hi.
Yeah,
and
for
be
the
my friend.
you're going to be there, please do say hi.
Because I'm going alone.
Yes, she's not.
But
she's going without me.
I'm really excited. I hope I get to meet some local people and also some new stitchy friends. So yeah, I'm really excited and looking forward to that. But that's the only thing stitchy related that I purchased this month, aside from the pearl cotton threads.
Well, I had a few purchases, I guess. One of them, I don't think I have anything to show it for. I did purchase the festive frosted pumpkin.
Oh yeah, maybe I can insert a picture.
You can insert a picture of that
one.
I'm sure some of you have probably seen that on some other people's Flosstubes. So I know that's where I got the inspiration from. But the other purchase, one of them was actually in Gen Con.
Yeah.
Which it's technically not a cross stitch one, but I'm turning it into. So I've really liked seeing, I see Andrew and some of the other people doing this, or they'll get like a pin. So this is the pin I bought. This is just a sapphire dragon pin that I found at Gen Con that I really liked. I looked at the green one, which I typically gravitate to green, but the blue one looked much nicer.
Yeah.
And I'm going to turn this into a needle minder. So I think you said somebody has a...
Yeah, I think there's some tutorials out there. We'll watch a couple.
So I'll see if I can find a nice one and turn this into a media binder for me.
Yeah.
So that'll be a nice Gen Con reminder. And then the other one I purchased is something I've seen lots of people have pre-ordered it. And
I think I had mentioned that it was something I might get. And then Michael said, wait, but I got it.
It's already been pre-ordered. Because I wanted the free pattern too.
Yeah.
So I got Cross Stitch in the Forest by Max Pigeon. I really like the patterns I've seen, and I didn't I didn't hesitate at all. Just one or two patterns I saw in some nice Flosstube, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and pre-order it.
Yeah.
Because I thought, this is stuff you like. This got stuff I like.
We kind of sat together on the couch and looked through it, and there were things where he was like, well, I wouldn't stitch that. And I was like, I'm definitely stitching that.
Yep.
But I don't want to stitch that. And he was like, well, I'm totally stitching that.
Yeah. So there's just a lot of really great patterns in here. I know some people have done some flip through, so I'm not going to do a flip through for us.
Yeah.
But we can put maybe links to a couple of the flip throughs if we can find. I know there's a couple people that mentioned.
Oh yeah, Andrew the Runner Stitcher and Helen D.
So we can put links to those down below if you're interested and haven't seen the flip throughs yet. But it's a wonderful pattern. Pattern book. I really love it. If you're a newer stitcher, there's a really nice section at the front that talks about techniques and stuff. So it's a really well done book.
His patterns are really easy to read.
Yeah,
and follow.
really well designed
Mm-hmm.
patterns, easy to read. So I'm looking forward to stitching something.
Yeah, I think we both
there.
might pick out something to do. I know Helen D is doing a stitch along.
Yeah.
So we might kind of pick something
Kind of jump into that
to
stitch
jump
along.
into that.
Pick one of those. There's some there that has like a nice fall feel. Which
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling very fallish. So
I'm not yet, but I will be, I think, next month.
fall is my favorite time of year, so I always look forward to it, and looking forward to all the things that go with fall. So so that's kind of what has me. It's like I need that, so I'm gonna go ahead and get it, and we'll find stuff out of it.
Yeah.
Stitch. So that was all my purchases. Not a lot of big purchases, but there'll probably be more purchases sometime in September.
Yeah, you'll see a bunch of purchases in October.
In October, yeah. At the Needleworks Gallery at Hazy Valley. So
yeah, we're planning on going.
We're both going to go to that. I don't know which day yet, but
no.
so that's all of my media purchases. Then we can do. You wanted to do Stitchy Kindness, I remember.
Yeah, some Stitchy Kindness. I had a little bit of Stitchy Kindness. So when my whole family was here and I was talking about 324, my parents said, "Well, let us know what threads you're missing." So I went through the whole pattern and I figured out I'm missing like 30 something threads. And they very kindly went through their bobbins and pulled out the ones that they had and cut me some lengths. Because I'm stitching this with one strand, so I don't really need that much. So they made this cute little, they punched a hole and put the threads in for me. So now I'm missing less than I was before. So thank you, Mom and Dad. I appreciate that a lot. And then my mom gifted me a project bag. She made me another project bag. She had purchased this fabric to make a gift for one of her friends and had some left over. And she thought of me because she knows how much I love purple and butterflies. So she got this cute little charm. And then she made this amazing purple bag with some purple polka dots inside. So I don't know what's going in here yet, but
it's going to be used, I'm sure.
There will be something in here. And I will enjoy using it. Thank you so much, Mom.
So yeah, I don't think I had any Stitchy Kindness this month. That's fine.
Yeah.
Shout outs.
I do have 2 shout outs. I know you always ask me.
I didn't watch as many this month.
We have not watched that much Flosstube this month.
I think you have watched more than I have.
I watched a bunch at the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
Or the middle of the month. But then these last 2 weeks
This month has been so busy for me with work. I didn't have time.
Yeah.
So.
But there are 2 new to me Flosstubers that I'd like to shout out. They both have like 10 plus videos, so they're not new to Flosstube, but they're new to me. The first one is Stitcher's Hollow, which is a channel with 2 cousins, Neil and Alex. They live on opposite ends of the country, and they do Flosstubes together. I love they have the cutest little intro at the beginning with some furry friends.
I don't think I've seen this Flosstube.
It makes me smile. But they are both, I think they've both won the gold with the Stitching the Olympics. They both were cross-stitch champions of the Olympics. Neil had a cat stitching related disaster.
Oh.
And so Stitch the Olympics kind of became a way to restart some special projects and start some new things. So I really have enjoyed getting to know them through their videos. And yeah, they both just have a lot of joy. And they've, I just really connected with their joy, their excitement, their love of stitching. So that's been a great thing for me, and I
might have to check out the videos. They sound great. So
yeah.
I just haven't,
like you said, you just haven't.
I just haven't had time this month as much.
Yeah.
I barely kept up with a few of the people that I try to look for.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure they'll have a new video soon. So
I'm really behind, as I'm sure most people have that familiar feeling as well.
The other channel that I found that I love is Sally Stitches and ... which is Sally. And I really enjoy and connect with her videos. She's a multi-crafter, so the ... kind of sometimes is quilting, sometimes knitting, crochet, organizing her craft space, decorating her house. Watching her videos feels like going to visit a friend's house and they say, "Hey, come on and decorate this with me," or "Come help me organize my quilts," or "Let's talk about how chaotic life is and I'm still creating anyway." One of the things that I really appreciate about Sally and her videos is that she's a very busy mom with a busy life and limited space and time, and she still manages to do it all. So with all of the chaos that we've had lately, that's been so encouraging to me, just to think about ways that I can still incorporate crafting and stitching into my life. even with limited space and time.
We will get more space and time eventually.
Yeah, she also has stitched and is stitching on a ton of frosted pumpkin stitchery pieces. So if you like that, definitely go check her out. She also is very active on Instagram and posts a lot of videos and little pictures about the things she's doing. So thank you, Neil and Alex and Sally, for keeping me company this month. And yeah, go check them out if you haven't already.
I'm going to do that myself. Okay. I think plans is next.
Plans is next.
Plans is next. I have a fair bit of plans. What do you want to talk about? Your plans?
Why don't you talk about? I need to drink some water.
Oh, drink some water.
You start talking about your plans.
You've been talking a lot. Okay. So I did mention, as I said, I bought the Festive Frosted Pumpkin Cottage, which I'm thinking is going to be a start. It may be next month before I start it, because I'm going to try to get some fabric for it.
Okay.
At the Needleworks Galleria.
Yeah.
So I don't really have any fabric I think fits it very well. Mm-hmm. And I also need to get some fabric for the national parks. Mm-hmm. That one project I
need to figure out.
Because I need to figure out size. It's going to be a huge project, so I'm going to have to buy a large piece. And I need to figure out what kind of color fabric and what kind of fabric and all that. Mm-hmm. I know I'm adding extra space around each one of them and space below for dates. So I'm going to have to figure out how much to add for that. Mm-hmm. But those are two of the new projects I think I'm going to end up starting.
Okay.
One's kind of a Halloween / Christmas, which I really love. Mine's my favorite time of year with Christmas. So
I might need to stitch the pumpkin snowman on that. You can stitch everything else, but I might need to stitch that pumpkin snowman.
You like the pumpkin snowman?
I do. It's my favorite part.
Who can not like that? I mean, that's
my favorite part.
Super cute. So those are two of my newer projects, and then some of the other things that I'm going to try to finish my stitching kindness this month. Mm-hmm. At least as far as I can get it. I'm close. Yeah. And then the lighthouse is also close, so I might try to at least get over halfway done.
Yeah.
Possibly.
You could probably get another quarter.
I could get another quarter done. Mm-hmm. And of course, another one I'm going to be starting sometime soon this fall. If I have fabric, I might start sooner. Is one of the Max Max Pigeon patterns. So I'm excited.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. So that's part of the reason I was like, there's something I'm going to probably stitch from there soon. Mm-hmm. So. And I've been trying over and over the last few months to get to my Fantasy Winter Castle, and it's not happened.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put together at least 3 days or 4 days that I'm going to stitch on that.
Okay.
Because I want to make progress. It's such a big project. If I don't stitch on it, it's never going to get done.
Yeah.
I think the Stardew Valley one will be finished this month.
Yeah.
Because there's only one more motif after this, and so
and
backstitching. So it's gonna. The fill work goes pretty quickly, so I think that one will be actually finished this month, so I can actually get back to my Middle Earth next month. Probably not this month, but next month. Because I had to choose between the 3 styles. I was like, I could only have enough time really to work on 2 of them at the same time.
Yeah.
I got the Hobbit Hole itself finished, and I was like, this is a good place to stop and pause it and then come back, because I was not going to catch up. There are 4 motifs chapters ahead and probably a 5th one soon.
Yeah. I'm
just not going to catch up. So that'll be, I finished at my own pace one. The other 2 I'm keeping up with. So, and then of course the Forest Fairy Tale is going to be, that's still at the top of my list. I still love that one the most. I think that and the Stardew. So I'm enjoying that one immensely. So those are really my big plans. They are of course subject to change whenever my heart tells me.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm thinking at the moment. Mm-hmm. And what about you?
Okay, I have a little pile, so I'm going to continue working on the
the dragon one?
Magic Garden with the dragons. I want to continue working on that. And then as I said, I'm drawn to all of the really bright things right now. So one of the things I'm going to work on is, especially now that I have the extra threads, is 324. I'm going to pull that back out. So I can put in the threads that have been passed on to me that go up here. I think a lot of those blues go up here. And then I'm going to move down. I'm going to have to make a decision because I think one of these 2 is the one that has the least colors that I have. So I might do whichever one I have more of, I'll do coming down.
Yes.
But I'll continue on this. So looking forward to that. I'm also wanting to pick back up Flowers for Sylvia by D.A.D.'s 20 Stitches. because this is another bright pattern and the flowers just feel summery to me. So I'd like to continue to work on this a little bit this month. And then another thing I'd like to pick up is Oh Joyous Day by Blackbird Designs. This had been my birthday start last year, and I had stopped on this because I had run out of some threads. So when we went to Color and Cotton 2 months ago?
2 months, yeah, 2 months ago.
Maybe 3 months ago?
Something like that.
I had got the threads that I was missing, but it's just been sitting in the project bag since then. So I'm going to pull this out, and I know that I can definitely finish this month because I really don't have that much left. I just have the 2 flowers down here. There's some over 1 words in here, and then I think there's a border at the top, just like the one at the bottom. So this should definitely be a finish, but I'm looking forward to working on this again with the bright, cheery colors. And then the last thing I'm thinking about working on is Bluebirds of Happiness by JBW Designs. This had been my leap day start, and I had gotten super far in February and the beginning of March, so I'm hoping to make a little bit more progress on this in August. Because again, bright colors.
Bright colors.
And happiness. It sounds good.
It is technically still summer and bright colors.
So. Yeah. We'll see if anything else calls out to me or what I work on from that pile, but yeah, that's my plans.
Oh, and I don't think I actually had any pictures. We can insert pictures of a couple of new ones. I suppose the parks one, that one I did.
Yeah.
I completely forgot.
That's fine.
I know you have some sewing.
I do have a little bit of sewing.
So if you're just here for the cross stitch,
we're finished with cross stitch. So that's all. If that's all you want to see,
then
we're done for today.
We appreciate you being here and joining us for that. And
yes.
Hopefully you'll feel like you want to return. And if you're new, please subscribe and hit like and all the wonderful things we do. And if you're returning, we're glad you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it anyway.
Yeah.
And we'll see you again next time. And if you're staying, you can.
I just have a tiny bit of quilting. So I decided for Jolly July that I wanted to work on a Christmas quilt because I had 2 kind of bundles of Christmas fabric. I had a jelly roll and a layer cake that I wanted to use and make Christmas quilts. So I did finish one top, and then the other one is still just a layer cake. But I have made I wrote it down, the Jelly Roll 18 patch quilt, and I followed a video tutorial. I'll have to insert a picture because it's huge here. But I followed a video tutorial from Material Girl Quilts. So here's kind of
the general.
A general idea. Yeah, that'd be good. You don't need to see it.
You don't need to see me.
Just see the quilt.
Just see the quilt.
So it's these fun, cute, Christmassy fabrics. This is Holiday Cheer by My Mind's Eye for Riley Blake. This was a jelly roll that I had, and this was a really easy, great pattern to follow. The instructions were really clear, and as a new, kind of still newer beginner quilter, it was an easy, enjoyable stitch. And yeah, I'm so excited with how it turned out. And I don't know when I'll get to the binding and the backing and finishing this. But it's just like a cozy lap size, snuggle on the couch at wintertime kind of quilt. And I enjoyed it. I did have, this is all I have left is just like some of my strips. So I might try to make these into a project bag or something else. I'm not sure. But yeah, this was my only, there were salvage edges, but this was my only leftovers. So I'll make something with that eventually.
Yep. Okay.
And I enjoyed getting back to quilting. It's something I've been wanting to do for a couple months, but I haven't really had the energy for. And now I have the energy, but not the time. So
you'll get the time.
I'll get it. I'll figure it out. I'll incorporate it. I'll do the things that bring me joy.
Yes.
And I hope that you are too.
So I think that's all the actual like stitching, sewing kind of stuff. So
yep, that's all the fiber things. We're going to be talking about board games next.
So if you're not here for board games, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
And we're grateful to have you as a part of our community. Hopefully
we're so grateful for you.
Hopefully you'll return next time. If you like what you saw.
We hope until you see us again that you are well and have the best month that you can.
Yes, and do all the things you love with the people you love.
Yeah.
And we'll see you again soon, hopefully.
Yeah, we love you.
Love you. All right. Give us a moment. We're going to transition to board games. All right, we are back from our transition. We are set up for our board game segment.
Yeah.
So we didn't play a lot of games multiple times over the last month.
But we did play a lot of games.
We did play a whole lot of games.
Yeah, so I'm going to insert a picture, as I have been doing the last couple of months, to show you all the games we played in the month of July. As we had mentioned, I was still visiting with family. My family was in town, so we spent a lot of time gaming together. You heard about the games we played in June in our last video, but we did play a few games those first few days in July. We played Hand and Foot, Trekking the National Parks, Haunted Mansion, Clank Catacombs, Mexican Train, Meadow, and Terraforming Mars, the dice game. We had a game day with our friends.
We did.
And we played one game of Calico, Botany, and Weirwood Manor, and 2 games of Horrified. I went over to visit my parents one weekend, and my dad and I played the Tapestry. And then my parents came over to visit another weekend, and my mom and dad and I played a game of Clue.
Yes, I was still working at the time.
It was great. We played Clue, we played Mexican Train,
Dominoes,
Weirdwood Manor, Wingspan, Earth, and Arch Ravels. Michael and I together played 4 games of Pretty Clever, 2 of Calico, 1 of Earth, 2 of the Guild of Merchant Explorers, 1 Evergreen, 2 Weirdwood Manor, and 8 Wingspan.
Yeah.
And then our first game of Gen Con, which was the last day of July, was 5 Crowns.
Yeah, so we played a lot of different games.
Yeah. We did want to mention, last time the game that we talked about was Weirdwood Manor, and we had been having a really difficult time with it. The night after I uploaded our video, I saw that the designer had posted a thread on Board
Game Geek, which we can link to below if you're interested.
It's a great resource if you're having questions or struggles with a game. A lot of people.
It gives you a lot of tips about strategies, how to approach things.
So the designer had actually published or put a PDF of a strategy guide for Weirdwood Manor, and it answered all of our questions, and we finally were able to win.
We finally found the formula to win. It's not always guaranteed, but it definitely helps so much.
Just knowing that it's winnable and to have some sort of a strategy has been so helpful.
Yeah, so we did beat it. We beat it a couple of times now.
Right, yeah, because we beat it on our own, and then we beat it when we played with my dad.
We did. So so it's definitely beatable if you're wondering, if you have played it and were a little bit downhearted.
If you were concerned by our discussion of it last time, be discouraged no more.
It is. It's a great game. So I'm sure we'll be playing more of it this month.
Yeah.
So
also, it's no surprise that Wingspan was our most played game. I did realize yesterday that we met Elizabeth Hargrave, the designer at Gen Con.
Oh.
And didn't realize it.
Wow. Okay. I did not realize that either, apparently.
We didn't realize it.
We met the designer. It's a shame we didn't have her for a design or something.
Things that happen at Gen Con that you don't realize until later.
Yeah. Well, it was great meeting her. Yeah. Even if I didn't realize.
So we kind of have a policy of only talking about games that we played more than 3 times. Since we play so many games just once or twice. And the only game that fit that bill, aside from Wingspan, which we have, I think, mentioned in every video.
Or Weirdwood Manor, which we've already talked about recently.
Yes, which we had just mentioned in our previous video.
So we won't talk about that one again.
The only other game that we played that many times was That's Pretty Clever.
That's Pretty Clever, which is a great game. It's one of our go-tos for the early mornings. There is the box.
That's Pretty Clever. Also, we play a lot of Twice as Clever. There are actually 5 of these games. That's Pretty Clever, Twice as Clever, Clever Cubed, Clever Forever, and then there's a Clever Kids. We have these 2, and we play them all the time. So much so that we're at a point of trying to figure out.
We need
laminated sheets.
So
that we can continue playing.
Because they give you a pretty substantial pad, but if you play as much as
I think there were 100 sheets on here, and now we're down to 10.
So this one's actually slowed down because we're so low on those.
Yes,
and this
we have less on that one than we do.
And this one's getting really low.
Right, so we played this one 4 times this month. Clever is a really great dice game. It's a roll and write game.
It's easy to pick up and learn.
Yes, I would say it's kind of like a successor to something like Yahtzee.
Pretty much, yeah, because you're trying.
It's a little more complicated version of Yahtzee.
Yeah, there's like different colored dice, and each dice color has a small mini activity you're trying to do to get different combinations of numbers.
Right. So everyone is given a sheet that looks like this, and then you're using the dice to kind of fill in. Oh, this is for the second one.
That's for the second one. But this is for the first one.
This is for the first one. You're using the different colors of dice to fill in the matching color areas. So if you roll a yellow 2, you can fill in one of these yellow 2s over here.
Each one has their own requirements.
You're choosing 3 dice each round.
Yep.
And you have to really think about it because the number that you choose, anything that's less than that
goes away.
And you can't use it.
For that round.
Yeah.
And the other players whose turn it's not get to choose from the dice you don't pick.
At the end.
And if you end up losing lots of dice that way, that gives them more options as well. So
yes.
So that's part of the strategy to think about that. But you also don't want to lose too many dice too early. Otherwise, you won't have enough dice for all 3 rounds.
Yeah. And it's a game where as it goes on, you kind of get more and more combos because once you fill a line like this, you see that you'll get to cross off a blue one. So then you'll cross off a blue one. Well, maybe that lets you cross off an orange one
Lots
or
of
add a green one. So it kind of, I don't know.
And it's also part of the strategy because as you go, some of the numbers for the colors will be crossed off. And so if you get those, you won't be able to use those numbers. And that's also part of the strategy as well, is balancing that. Obviously, the easiest one is actually the orange one. You can use any numbers for the orange. But there are sometimes 2 ones in there. So each of them has their own requirements. And the second one has some differences. Twice as Clever has some differences.
It has some different colored dice and some different kind of...
A different mechanic of unlocking dice that you've lost before, which is something you can't do in the first one. But the other 2 mechanics are the same, re-rolling and +1s.
Yeah.
So it's a super fun game. It plays really quickly. It's easy to learn. Yeah,
it's kind of our go-to game after breakfast, on the weekend, drinking our hot beverages.
And it's not really math heavy. It's just adding the numbers at the end, basically. Yeah. But it's really not very math heavy. So you could probably teach this pretty easily, too.
Yeah, it's a game from 1 to 4. I have tried it solo, and it wasn't my favorite. You're just kind of trying to beat a certain number score. But we've played it at 2 and 3.
2 and 3, we've played it. I don't think we've played it at 4. I don't think so. But it plays really well at 2 and 3. I'm assuming it would probably play just fine at 4.
And like I said, we love it and have played it so much that we're running out of sheets.
Yeah, we're going to try to purchase some laminated ones so we can just reusable, wipe them off when we're done. But definitely a lot of fun. Yeah. Highly recommend it.
Yeah.
That was really the only game we played more than 4 times that we're going to probably talk about this month. But this next month, there'll be a lot more.
Yes. So as we mentioned, we're going to be doing a Gen Con video. In that video, we're going to be talking a lot about games.
And some new games, because we got some new games from Gen Con.
Yes. I think we played 20 different games, and we brought some games home. So we're going to talk about all of that in our Gen Con video. We'll also talk about it a little bit more abbreviated in our next video, because it'll be the games that we played in August.
Correct. So yeah, there'll be a lot. If you're looking forward to hearing about Gen Con, if you have any questions more about like the actual event and stuff, that will be the extra videos would probably be the place to ask. Yeah. But you're free to ask on this video as well if you want. And we might put in a small teaser. I'm not sure yet, but just at the very end here, if you're curious about Gen Con. So. If you stayed with us this long, thank you very much. I guess we said something that's worth listening to. We hope you'll return with us next time and stay a part of our community if you're new.
We're so grateful for you and your friendship and the time that you spend with us.
Yes, this has just been a great experience, and can't believe it's been a year, just about.
Yeah.
So please, if you are new, subscribe and hit the bell if you like what you saw, and hope you enjoy over the next month doing the things you love with the people you love. And we will hopefully see you in about a little less time than this last time. So.
Sometime at the beginning of September.
So take care and hope to see you soon.
Yep.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
That's for sure. I'm going to take pictures everywhere I go. Snap, snap, snap. Take video. It's going to cram so full of content it will be bursting at the seams.